Hello and welcome to the 19th episode of the 4th season of Next Generation's First Generation, a Star Trek The Next Generation watch-along podcast, where every year on the 30th anniversary of the release of episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, we, being Patrick Delmore and Sascha Shouties, get together and watch an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation and provide commentary for the whole thing. Today's episode is the 19th episode of season 4, which is called The Nth Degree. It's a Barclay episode. How are you today, Sascha?
I'm doing pretty good. At the time of recording, there's probably about 6 inches of snow on the ground here the day after February. So from what I understand, most of the country is enjoying a polar vortex. But you, the listener, it is April Fool's Day, or close to it. So things are well. I'm really looking forward to this episode. I did some reading, and this episode has some little fascinating tidbits about it that I can't wait to share.
Cool.
So go ahead and sync up your viewing device, or just wait for the countdown, and we'll sync you all up. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and play.
And speaking of play, the play is The Thing, Cyrano de Bergerac, starring Barclay as Cyrano and Beverly Crusher as Roxanne. It took me a second to remember Roxanne, and then I remember that was the name of the Steve Martin movie.
Yeah. I am reminded of that when I see the nose putty he's wearing.
Yep.
It's actually very, very tongue-in-cheek, because when you first see the scene, you think, oh, he's on the holodeck again. But no, he's in a play. And you can see he's not feeling so great. He can't remember his lines. He's stuttering.
But what a great scene. Beverly is a really, really good scene partner in this. And it's funny because what is similar to our opening with Christmas Carol earlier this year, what is Cyrano de Bergerac about? It's about he's in love with this woman. He has all this passion for her, but doesn't think that he's good enough. So he puts out a proxy of a woman, or of a guy that she finds attractive. That's what she's talking about Christian, Baron Christian. But he's the one speaking for him. So in this, Barclay is going to become a proxy for some aliens.
Mm-hmm. You know, I believe that, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but I think they just modified the 10 forward set.
Yes, I noticed that when I was watching it earlier today with the sliding doors are definitely 10 forwards doors.
Or they just converted 10 forward into a stage, like maybe they're not hiding it. But we have seen this stage a couple of times before in the show. Once where, remember when Sarek comes by, and he watches a quartet, I believe. And then Frame of Mind is also on the set.
And Data is doing some of his most human things right now, being confused by why people are choosing to act politely toward Barclay, even though he was not completely successful in what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when you think about it, Barclay's a lucky guy because everybody is going out on a limb for him right now. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, I'm really surprised that LaForge didn't just say to Data, "We're being good friends, and he needs our support."
Because that'd be you mean before the show or after the show?
During the show, just as it concluded, people were clapping.
Yeah.
And Data kind of leans into LaForge and says, "Hey, what? I don't understand why we're doing this."
But again, it's Data's kind of, I'll use that expression again, non-neurotypical brain that's like, Data's like, well, I can play the violin perfectly. And so people applaud me for that because I'm good. I don't understand why a room full of people would be excited just because somebody made an effort.
You isolated yourself inside your own imagination, avoiding contact with
so I find it. Oh, good.
The measure of Data doesn't understand effort as being part of a measure of success. If you tried and you didn't succeed, you failed, right? They want Barkley to try.
Well, they want him to get out of the holodeck, and that's actually the conversation here. Is that, well, the theater is a good transition because he can still role play in a fantasy. The only difference is he's being watched by everybody. He's putting the performance on for other people rather than himself.
But have you ever had like a friend that was trying to quit drinking, went to a party with lots of alcohol, made an ass of themselves, and was like, well, I still didn't get, I still did things that I do while I'm drunk at this party, so I might as well be drunk. That's why they're applauding the effort. It's like it doesn't whether or not he's successful, he's working on what he wants to be working on, and everybody is choosing to support him.
Yes. So we are at the famous Argus array that comes in several times in TNG and also in Voyager. I think they use it too. I could be wrong.
Wouldn't surprise me. I am on a very slow rewatch Voyager. 1 episode a week while there's no new Trek. So I think I'm on the 4th or 5th episode.
There you go. So Geordi and Barky.
That'd be a good name for him. Yeah, Wesley's not here, so let's drop the broccoli and he'll be Barky now.
I always loved it when they were in a shuttlecraft. This conversation right here between Barkley and LaForge are amazing because LaForge is about to basically pontificate on why he joined Starfleet, why we're doing this. This shuttlecraft, by the way, I believe is named after a physicist.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of the shuttle is.
Nothing. Doesn't want to give any of its secrets.
Oh, he's nerding out.
Mm-hmm.
The Feynman. Richard Feynman.
Yeah.
Feynman.
Yep. Matthew Broderick played him in a really cool movie called Infinity.
Actually passed away in 88. I did not know that.
And I always think of him, and although I did not know this until I saw that Matthew Broderick movie, he was instrumental in finding out why the Challenger blew up the way that it did.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. There we go. This is why I'm in Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
No modulation. Hit it with a positron emission.
I love how they're just shooting rays at it, seeing if it'll respond.
Yep.
Let's try this. Let's try that. Uh-oh. Reg is passed out. Well, he's got a pulse. Should I just sit here for a couple more seconds? Or?
I've been so used to the teasers ending with either the Voyager or Enterprise theme. When I watched this morning, it was a little bit of a shock to hear the Next Gen theme.
Mm-hmm. So this episode had the longest teaser in Star Trek history. That
was long. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. It was. It's actually the teaser, as in it's 7 minutes and 21 seconds long.
Huh.
So that is really long. So this episode 19, season 4, Nth Degree, April 1st, 1991 is when it came out. Ron Jones did our music, of course. It was written by Joe Manansky. Yeah, sure. And then it was directed by Robert Legato. Sounds like a turtle, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Legato.
It's Legato. We gotta get him. But first, we gotta get some pizza, dudes.
Yeah. Meow, turtles.
Yeah, so there are a lot of guest stars in this. When I was looking at the Memory Alpha page, they had probably at least about 20 uncredited co-stars in this.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've got a smart-looking young ensign up at the front of the ship in this.
Mm-hmm. And we get to see Albert Einstein in this episode. It's really nice to see big mega structures in space. I've always enjoyed looking at space infrastructure in this fan.
Great shots of the Enterprise in this.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. Our emissions do not match any known radiation patterns. We have not encountered this technology before.
So they're in the what the heck do we have now? And I believe they're going to tow it into the. Oh, they wanted to capture it. Yeah. Strangely hostile actions by this probe.
It's going to light up in a minute.
There was enough energy in that flash to overload your optic nerves. It knocked you unconscious.
Can you be knocked out by light? That's my question.
Sure you can.
And the cornea looks fine, but I'm still waiting for a full serum.
Usually I see the lights before I get knocked out, like when I'm punched. But
what's a laser? I mean,
true. Now here's the first tell that something's wrong.
Couldn't you use a global mode in your scanner? It would be a lot faster.
Is that he makes a suggestion that's offhand.
We're talking about human cells here, not isolinear circuits.
And
I think you better stick to
Beverly just kind of explains to him, "Hey, stay in your lane." But now he's really starting to nerd out. Like, hey, theoretically it should work. Just try this, this, and this.
There's a lot of hey, stay in your lane with this.
Mm-hmm. Oh darn! It's red alert. Got to cancel the conversation.
Yep.
Saved by the red alert.
Collision course. Captain, sensors are reading no particulate emissions or subspace field distortions.
Data has such an interesting emergency narrative tone. You ever notice that? His words per minute kick up. He's a lot more monotonous than he normally is. Mm-hmm. Usually when he's doing that, he's looking down, almost like at his hands, probably at the control panel.
That Enterprise model is pretty spiffy in this.
Oh, yeah.
The probe is matching our speed and course.
Captain, an energy field.
Michael Dorn's makeup looks really on point in this episode.
Yeah, we went through that weird period where his hair looked very much like Oompa hair.
Mm-hmm.
Our computer may also be vulnerable.
Yeah, much better wig this time.
Oh, that's why they're running away from this thing, because they're afraid it might nuke the Enterprise computers, and you don't want to lose your computers in space. They're gonna crash our hard drive. Run away! Run away!
The probe is following.
Options number one. We can't use photon torpedoes. An explosion close to cripple us.
Recommend full phase.
What?
Proceed.
Are they gonna follow Worf's advice?
Firing phasers.
No, Picard opens it up to suggestions from all crew in a minute.
No effect.
Which is where Barclay steps in.
We are in danger.
Regular LaForge, can you increase phaser power?
Attempting to isolate phasers 80 to 120.
So
That's
here we
kind
go.
of ineffective that you wouldn't be able that you would have to call down to engineering to increase the power of the phasers and couldn't do it from Worf's tactical station, you know?
Yeah, I've often was confused by that. It's like sometimes they decide to bypass the person who's standing right there and call the engineering room. Other times they just do everything from a little panel in the side of his seat.
Yeah, you would have the settings for however high you could get phasers to go from where Worf is standing. It wouldn't be able to go, any higher than what he can make it do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they might have a little thing that's like, okay, if you go this high, like this and this are going to be redundant or reduced for a minute.
We are dropping to impulse.
But he'd know that as a trained tactical officer, what would become redundant.
Okay, here's the real tell here. We've got a focused mission-minded Barkley, which is way out of character for him.
Mhm.
And he's breaking protocol, so that's
And I like that they have, the engineer that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, the other woman that's down there,
I'm certain the shields will hold.
to contrast. So, if you've never seen the show before, it's like, she's the one towing the line and Barkley's the one that's being inappropriate.
100%.
So this is the very first instance that I can think of where you had a hyper intelligent person remodulate a system on the ship to save it. And we see this over and over and over again, a lot, gratuitously so, in the Voyager series. Oh, let's remodulate, and then all of a sudden problem fixed. And it makes me wonder, do they always keep those settings moving forward? Or do they just like, oh, well, it worked, let's
that's what I was
go back
thinking.
to normal?
When I was saying that about increasing the phaser power through engineering somehow, it's like, by the time we get to this level of space travel, where people could go off duty completely and watch a play while they're on a spaceship, these things have been thought of already.
Don't mention it.
Now, this is really bad of Geordi. He looked upset that Barkley saved the day and that he broke character and that he did something really amazing. If I was there, if I was Geordi or anybody else, I'd be like, dude, that was amazing. Where did this come from? What? This is great.
It's so hard with somebody that doesn't like you, or that knows that you don't like them, that knows that you're putting up with them. They like and appreciate the work that Barkley can do, and they're trying so hard to figure him out as a person to be able to get along with him. And Frakes' body language in that scene was great. He didn't know where to put his hands when he was talking to this junior officer. He was just like, I want to find this out, but I don't know how to approach him. Even though I'm the commander of the ship, I'm head of personnel. I can't figure this guy out.
The Will Riker HR department.
Yeah. When Nigel talked about being Barkley when he was on the show, I empathize more with Barkley in this episode because it's a lot of, I can sometimes, I can see that people are reaching out to me and I don't know how to respond to them in the way they want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of the opposite here. It's that they don't know how to reach him on the level that he's acting at right now. Because again, he's being used. We'll find out at the end. He's being used as a proxy for an alien species to move the Enterprise across the, vast swath of the galaxy. But even he doesn't know that.
Not entirely.
But he's essentially communicating like a human has almost gone out the window for him,
Mm-hmm.
and completely will by the end of this. Data should be the one, and that's why they had at the beginning of it. If anybody acted out of character, it was Data at that play. He and Data should get along really, really well, because as long as Barkley respects rank while he's with Data, Data's not going to care about facial tics and tone of voice and asking weird questions. He'll be like, Barkley asks me all this stuff that nobody else asks me. Like, why is that? But now, kind of contradicting my statement about he doesn't care about human interactions, he goes and he does this scene with Crusher and kills it. By kills it, I mean does a great job.
Dwight Schultz is a pretty good actor when you think about it.
Yes. I'm stealing this from Greatest Generation, but being able to play that you're bad at doing something and then playing like you're good at doing something and making it look natural is a really hard skill.
Oh, I bet.
To learn.
It almost feels like Beverly's being a little swooned there.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've noticed that people in the Star Trek world tend to be psychosexuals. So the smarter you are, typically the hotter you are.
Yeah, that's a Roddenberry thing.
I mean, look at that. She is on her tiptoes practically.
And it works on Troy too.
That was a real improvement.
I know. That's another great thing is being able to cry on cue and making it look real, which Gates is doing a great job of. And I'm out.
I'm glad that she's concerned, but she didn't look angry like LaForge did. LaForge just does not give this guy a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, LaForge gives Barkley a chance when it's on his terms.
And I'm happy we see both of these two on Voyager later on.
Yeah, and their relationship has matured naturally, I believe. Though I can't put my finger on it, but it's almost like the Barkley and the Voyager series kind of regressed a little. Because I like where they left him off. I think the last time we saw him...
When he turned into a spider?
Yeah.
Actually, no, we saw him before that in Generations. He was in it for a little bit.
Oh, no kidding.
He's down on Earth for a little bit. Not in Generations. In First Contact, he's running around down on Earth for a little bit. But it's been forever since I've watched those Voyager episodes, and it'll be another forever before I get back to them. But it seemed like they'd found a better place for him. The Enterprise, the whole thing is they don't want to say about anybody that the Enterprise is not a good place for a good for a good officer. Barkley is good at his job.
Mm-hmm.
He's just bad at being part of this group.
Well, it's he's not a team player. He struggles with that, and as we know, Starfleet wants team players.
And they also want the Enterprise to be the best place for everybody to be.
What I need is the company.
The idea they don't really play with they don't seem to believe that it's okay to be second best. It's okay to be third best. It's okay to be fifth best.
Mm-hmm.
But if it fits your skills, that's the spot where you should be. That's why stuff with Riker is so weird. It's like, they want him to advance. He's one of their best men. He should be a captain.
Mm-hmm.
But Riker's like, no, the Enterprise is my spot. It's where I work best.
Oh, there's the whole team.
Yep.
What? Oh, man. Oh, there's Geordi. He's like, I can't wait to get him in trouble again.
Yep. Thought we fixed this problem. The holodeck.
Yeah. I hate doing that as a supervisor, where you have to chase somebody down and figure out what's going on. And you're all pissed off, and by the time you get there and get the context, you're like, oh, well, this really wasn't worth me being upset about.
Yep.
And you try really hard.
You're already kind of mad.
Yeah, and you try not to take it out on the person, and then you realize, well, am I angry at the situation, or am I just angry at the person, and I prejudged them before I went into this situation? Because if it wasn't Barkley, if it was, say, like Data, and Data was late to a a work meeting like that, LaForge just would say, hey, Data to, LaForge to Data, come on down. Oh, I forgot the meeting. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm on my way down. Or
this is so silly, because this thing with Barkley and Einstein, anybody could do this.
Yes.
LaForge could do it. Alexander could do it. Basically, I assume the Einstein program is all about ego stroking.
So the guy who was playing Einstein there, his name is Jim Norton. He is still alive, by the way. Born in 1938. He's age 83. And I think he's been in several TNG episodes.
No, the craziest guy that's still alive is the guy that plays Professor Galen.
Galen. Why do I know that name?
Picard's old teacher. You know how old that dude is as of this recording?
Yeah.
106.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still appearing and stuff.
Where they found the hologram recording of the founder who wasn't quite a founder.
Yep. But anyway, Geordi's like, how is it that, you're able to do this Einstein thing? He's like, why do you think we have, I mean, it was like, to me, why do you think we have that program, Commander? It's literally so people can come in and it looks intimidating. It'd be the same thing if Riker was talking to Napoleon.
Incredible.
Oh, there we go.
I wonder if that actor played Einstein when Einstein comes back and plays poker with Data.
So I missed something here in the dialogue. Why are they in sick bay?
Because something's going on with Geordi, with not Geordi, Barclay's brain. It's weird that they didn't really do the research they needed to do on IQ, because IQ is a bizarre thing. IQ pretty much is a tool of eugenics.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Bill Gates was asked once what his IQ was, and he said, I don't know. IQ is for people who aren't that smart.
Yeah.
Because it's a way to be judged and measured. And
precisely.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me wonder if the people who join Mensa are just pretentious dicks.
Well, let's plug a podcast, which I believe is called My Year in Mensa, which is a Jamie Loftus podcast.
No.
Really good, where I learned about IQ.
Locking a man up for being too smart.
If he's been influenced,
very good show.
put us all at risk.
Whoa. Did I just hear LaForge say we can't lock a man up for being too smart? They're afraid of him.
Yeah.
What the heck? Has he done anything wrong? No.
Like, when Gary Mitchell did this, I bet Kirk wishes he'd locked him up instead of killing him.
No, but it's certainly unusual behavior.
That would have been interesting, as if they had this tie into the Gary Mitchell story. But then a lot of people, and maybe some of our audience haven't seen that. It's from a original series episode where Kirk's best friend becomes a god because they crossed the galactic barrier.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to make an observation here. Okay. So just as we're talking about intelligence quotient, IQ, we are also talking about emotional intelligence,
yes.
EQ. And that's a funny little look that Riker gave, like, what? I'm in competition with Barclay now? And Deanna's like, yeah, you are. But emotional intelligence is actually really important to function as a member of a team. That's where confidence comes in. That's where you can read the person you're talking to. And I think the crew is more frustrated about his emotional intelligence than his actual intellectual intelligence. Because it's not the super cool brainiac things that he's doing, it's how it's being delivered.
Yep, it's unpredictable. So again, I'll place myself in there. It's like, say I'm willing to work with a team, completely willing to work with a team. However, my reputation is that I'm unpredictable. So if I have to react quickly to something, nobody who considers me to be unpredictable is going to be able right away to tell what it is I'm reacting to.
Subsequent explosion will create a chain reaction along the entire length of the array, sir.
Hanson, stand by for a
So they are going to get out of there. And we're about to learn that for Barclay's next trick, he's going to insert himself into the computer. He will become the Enterprise in order to save this array.
Yeah, Matt pointed this out when he says this about asking for a chair, and they give him the most elaborate, weirdo-looking chair. It's like this throne.
Consoles into the Enterprise main computer core, utilizing Neuroscan interface.
I love this. No problem. Here's how you build one. That is Deep Space Nine references that line when the genetic folks come in. No, not the genetic folks. When Bashir and Miles try to get into the Section 31 guy's mind. He's like, oh, well, here's how we build this device. So we're going to see something really cool. Is that I was reading up on this, and these are real lasers that they used as a practical effect for Charles Barkley. Charles, wait, whoa,
Reg
whoa.
Barkley. Anything else would be uncivilized.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I apologize for that. So anyway, it looks really cool, and the first thing I thought of when I was watching this, even as a kid, you know, they had laser pointers that you could buy for a lot of money and mess around with. I believe that it is really dangerous to have a laser anywhere near your face, and so I wonder if they had to set him up. So when they turn this thing on, it's like, do not move. They also changed the filming rate of this from 6 frames a second to 8 frames a second, just
nice.
To kind of give it an extra visual effect.
Pew, 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 pew. And then Joel Schumacher saw this and was like, I could make a whole movie that looks like this. Make it about Batman. Which is funny because, you know, that's... What is it? Yeah, this is all the Riddler from Batman Returns.
Right?
I didn't even think of this. Like, why not? Yeah. If man becomes God, then God am I.
Yeah. Have you heard of this episode is based off of a short story called Flowers of Algernon or something like
Flowers
that?
for Algernon, yeah. It's a little bit different than this. So there's also a really good movie of it with Cliff Robertson called Charlie. But the story is it's an intellectually disabled man who works at a research lab where he's supposed to like beat like a mouse at various activities. The mouse is Algernon. Well, they give him an experimental drug.
Mm-hmm. The mouse or the man?
Both of them.
Okay.
And the drug makes the guy intellectually intelligent and also emotionally intelligent. Like he's very much like a child in an adult's body, and then he becomes like a regular adult. And in the story, you can see that he retains the experiences he had while he is, quote, intelligent, do stick with him. In the movie, it's not quite like that. He just resents the fact that he's going to regress. And it's a great piece of acting. And for its time, I believe it came out in 1968. So the story was probably written sometime in the 60s. It was good, but this is a little bit, I honestly think this plays better 30 years later than that does from 50 years ago. Because it's not making any commentary about how do I say this?
They use a little bit of stereotype character.
Right.
What's it called? I know what you're trying to say, and it's killing me too. But like everyone's has these character types, and the role of the idiot in the 50s was not a very pleasant.
Yeah, it's like Lenny from Of Mice and Men,
right? Oh,
where it's a person that operates completely on instinct.
Yeah.
So you have to be like scared of them because they'll crush you with their giant hands.
Now, to change the subject just a little bit here, they had a meeting in the conference room where they made sure that Barkley couldn't hear them have the conversation, and they needed to remove him from the Enterprise computer, but they did not want to hurt him. So now LaForge is walking or crawling through these Jeffrey tubes, trying to do whatever technical thing he needs to get done, and Barkley and LaForge are having this conversation, more or less justifying his actions.
Mm-hmm. a little bit of a callback to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Exactly, where he's floating around in the Space Odyssey, he's floating around in the computer core, just kind of touching various mechanisms to slow down. I almost wish that Barclay says, "Let me sing you a little song."
Yeah.
Daisy, Daisy. Uh-oh.
I'm picking up subspace distortion.
There is mystery goo in front of the Enterprise.
Yep. Speaking of mystery goo, the day that we're recording this is the 33rd anniversary of the first episode of Red Dwarf.
No.
Yep. So it came out about a year after Next Generation. We do call back to Red Dwarf quite frequently.
That's such a great show. I have to go back and rewatch it.
Similar to Next Generation, it is somehow still in production. They don't do a season every year, but I mean, just like we had Picard and Lower Decks with actors from this show very recently. Red Dwarf goes on and on. I was just thinking of the swirly thing in space.
So now Barclay is trying to take the ship somewhere else, and Troy has to go down there to talk him out of it.
Try to get him to think they don't want him to.
Now, if I remember correctly, at some point, Picard makes the call to Worf, physically remove him from that chair, knowing that will kill him.
Yep.
So this is
Lives of the Many.
How do you recover from that? Like after the episode's over, oh hey, nice to see you in the hallway again, Captain. Yeah, don't take over the ship ever again, please.
Pretty much.
And then him and Data kind of get together at the 10 forward for a drink, and they both say, "Yeah, I remember that one time I turned crazy android and kidnapped the ship. I totally get it, man. Don't worry, it'll blow over. Just keep a low profile for about 3 or 4 weeks. Be nice to people when you pass them in the hallway, but don't make too much small talk, and they'll come around. The writers will treat you well, and you'll come back next season, and everyone will love you again, man." By the way, this episode was originally written because they needed another Charles Barkley episode. They wanted to bring him back in, or Reg Barkley. Again, it's not the basketball player. I am so oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, but they wanted to bring Mr. Schultz back. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But the problem was they didn't want him to be another holodeck episode guy. So that opening scene of the theater was a good transition for the character. It shows, he's kind of moved beyond the holodeck, doing these things. Oh, there is Geordi. He is about to do the special thing.
The special thing.
I love these grease jumpsuits that they wear.
Yeah, this is where he and Leah were a couple of weeks ago, where they've got to wear these suits to be in there. Usually in a Jeffries tube, you can just have your regular stuff on, but he's actually in the computer core.
I'm not too sure about that. I still believe that's a Jeffries tube and not the computer core, but you may be right. I mean, anyway, it's just a TV show. It's completely open to interpretation. I
think the deal with the Jeffries tubes is those are like access to other parts of the ship if, say, like a turbo lift is down or
if you needed to get behind the wall to access some piece of equipment. There it is.
Oh boy,
they're about to go in. So I'm a little disappointed because we're watching the HD version and that cloud does not look very good at all.
No, it's a big blinky light thing. That's why it made me think of Red Dwarf.
Swirly thing alert.
Take a security team to holodeck 3.
There it is.
Mr. Barkley from the computer.
He that's the order to kill Barkley.
Yeah.
That's tough. He gave the order to kill somebody.
Well, he knows Worf doesn't have a problem doing that.
Well, that's his job.
Yeah.
Now, would have been really funny if Worf said just before he goes in there, he just says, "I'm sorry," and then tries to pull him off.
Or if you had a broomstick, like when you're trying to get somebody away from a conductor. You know, if you saw somebody getting electrocuted, you have to use a non-conductive thing to pull them away because you can't touch them.
So phasers.
Shoot the ding dong.
Phasers. Yeah, right. But phasers and holodecks, do they work? If a holodeck can recreate any environment, could you just have the phaser be taken out of somebody's hand almost instantly?
Would you go back to the bridge because he didn't technically do what it was he was supposed to do down there. He should still be working on how to get Barkley out of there, not going back on the bridge.
True.
That's just my opinion, though.
That's a really cool effect right there.
It is.
That's also where they changed the frame rate of recording, and then they changed the harmonies of the audio, so they harmonized it to itself. If that makes sense. It
would have been cool if while that was going on, Picard's mom showed up again.
Right? Now, boy, they could have just launched a whole season off of this alone, right?
I know. I need to look to see if there's any novels that happened while they were here.
Because 30,000 light years, that's not so bad. They can do that. So this is the third really long trip the ship has taken. The first one was going into Bubble Land with the Traveler.
Then to the Gamma Quadrant.
With the
or not the Gamma Quadrant, to the Beta Quadrant.
Yeah, with the Borg vessel.
Yes.
Electrochemical stimulus response.
And then there's the superior alien reading off the stat cards of all the races.
He reminds me of he's just describing what the card's doing, but it reminds me of the effect that they used in the movie Neo and the Land of Far Away, where the kid rides the wizard's beard to another planet.
So I want to say this alien is played by a guy named David Coburn, but I could be wrong.
I think I can help you with that, Captain.
Whoa, he got out.
I thought it would be fatal if you left the holodeck.
The Cytherians have reintegrated me.
The Cytherians.
That's a dig.
Oh, I missed that. What was the dig?
When Riker goes, Mr. Barkley, I thought it would be fatal if you left the holodeck. Were you lying to us about that? Is the subtext of that comment.
Well, honestly, in this situation, I'm surprised they have the ability to trust them to the limit that they are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were on any other species ship, the captain might say, restrain this guy. Take him to the brig.
The same thing. But yeah, Riker acts like, if you've ever said you were sick and you come into work the next day and they're like, oh, I thought you were too sick to get up.
Right.
Their only wish, an exchange of knowledge.
So there's the plot, is that instead of them exploring their system, they send out these probes to make people super smart to come to them. So it's the introverts explore, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love the braids in that guy's hair.
Yeah.
Oh, and like I said, they just say after 10 days, you could have had 10 episodes right there of just these people exchanging information.
No kidding.
It could have been a very well accepted ministry, to tell you the truth. Oh well. So yeah, there is room for a graphic novel series. 10 days?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
10 days in the realm of the Cytherians.
That in itself, in the realm of the Cytherians, would be a great name. Okay, so if anybody's listening and they want to write it, we just gave you the title. In the realm of the Cytherians.
Achieve what seems to be impossible.
Well,
The tricky part is what happens after.
now that Barkley's back to normal, Troy and LaForge feel safe being in their dominant, I'm going to help you position.
Troy's going to tease him a little bit. What would she do if he said yes when she invited him on this walk?
Either way,
What if he just very confidently went, yeah, let's do that? Actually, I have an appointment.
Excuse me, Commander.
No, she does say yes.
Barkley and I had a date scheduled.
Look at that.
For a walk in the Arboretum.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's like, oh.
You know, I've had moments in my life where
No.
I was so shy I turned stuff like that down. I kind of makes me wonder what my life would have been like had I just had a little bit more courage to say, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll come with you.
And he does retain some of it. He can, mess with them at three-dimensional chess. Oh, they do go. Good. And the door is closed. Enterprise flies away.
Yay!
What an nth degree it was. 3 stars.
Wow. Yay!
Three laser chairs.
What is an nth degree anyway?
It's where you don't know the value.
Okay.
We're gonna take it to this level, to whatever the nth degree is, however high it can go. We don't know what the value of it is.
Cool. Yeah. So what do you say? 3 stars?
3 stars. 3 laser chairs.
3 laser chairs. I'm gonna actually, I agree with you there. Probably about 3.5. Just because for me, 3 is kind of like a little less than blah.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was a really pleasant episode to watch.
It was.
They had great story development. They made it about the character, which I really like. We finally got into the guts of what the crew thinks of Barkley and how he is growing as an individual. I'm never disappointed with Barkley episodes. So, yeah, that's that be it. We have what's next on our docket, buddy?
Cupid.
Oh my gosh!
It's Robin Hood. It's Q. It's Vosh comes back.
Is that where? Oh yeah, that's right. They did they meet there in that episode?
No, they met in Captain's Holiday.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. What's his face? Miles was actually talking about Sherwood Forest, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are going to move on. With that, we're going to say we'll see you again on April 22nd, 1991, 2021. So we'd like to say have a wonderful day. Yay!
Did you get your second shot, Sascha?
My second shot? Yes, I did.
Nice.
I am fully vaccinated.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Were you really sick after the second shot?
A little bit.
Yeah, me too. A lot of people at my work were really sick from the second shot. They actually took a day or two off, which
I'm glad I got that. Second day was a snow day for me because I was not looking forward to being out working in 27-degree weather with how gross I had felt the day before.
Right.
Yeah. But my arm hurt for less of a period of time. Like with that first shot, I got my second shot on the 11th, and it was a good 3-4 days of arm hurting, and my arm doesn't hurt at all anymore. But man, that second day, I just felt gross.
Yeah. Totes. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than if you don't get it now, it's gonna get you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? We should be sitting here. You should be sitting here on the couch at Halloween watching movies together. So.
Yeah. Well, I miss coming over and visiting with you guys. I really, really enjoyed that.
Well, I think Matt is going to be able to he says he's going to be able to get a shot through work. So if he does, there shouldn't be any problem with you coming over here.
Oh, there you go. You guys are going to be part of my pod now.
Yeah.
We could actually have a podcast.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I will talk to you later.
Bye.
Why am I interviewing you guys?
So you're the guest.
So Sascha, what's a Star Trek?
Hi,
Next Generation?
I'm the guest.
So Sascha, what is Star Trek Next Generation?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear. Broke for free. As colorful as ever. Glass Android and Telecom by Lee Rosevere.
Audio engineering by Sascha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirshner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.